Namaste, gods, goddesses, and emissaries of light. This is Dr. Shreya Tajen, also known as Empress 1111. If you're new here, welcome. Please click like, subscribe, and do not forget to hit the notification bell so you can be updated on my latest and current videos. Okay, I am going to address something small here because I think this video is going to upload before the one that I really went into greater lengths and detail. First and foremost, my person was attacked today and someone called me a copycat. I think it's funny now, but earlier I was pissed, I'm not gonna lie. And I addressed it in that video, and it's gonna be the divine masculine working his shadow on his light side, something to that effect. And so with that video, I just want to say, please understand and overstand that that had just happened. Like I had just saw that right before I uploaded that video. So my headspace right there, I was not centered, but I mean everything that I said. I was compared to someone on YouTube named Nubian Divine. And I'm gonna just say this on this last video, and I'm not gonna talk about I'm not gonna talk about it. This is my last purge because I have to purge this out of my system and my vibratory frequency. But I admire her. I don't know her, but I came across her channel. I thought it was 5 days ago, but I'm going to recorrect that. It was exactly a week ago because I had texted the video that I had stumbled across. My son accidentally pressed on the channel when he handed me the phone, and I was hearing her. And I was hearing her calling in all these elements and stuff like that. And my son was like, Mom, that's the same thing that you be doing. I said, I know, this is so unique. But of course, I wasn't going to say she copied me. I mean, she has over 25,000 subscribers. I'm just new at this. But it's amazing how, you have other people that are basically tapping into the same frequency and you're on their same vibratory match. And I have nothing but mad love for her and respect for her. But I didn't appreciate, not from her. There's nothing against Nubian, okay? But her follower or subscriber tried to say that I was copycatting her, and I was not, have not, dream not. I am me, and I emphasize that on another video, and I'm just going to leave it there. But I will say this: I'm not going to stop calling in the elements, and I'm not going to stop calling upon Yadhe Vahe, which I have never heard her even say that name. I'm not going to stop being me. I'm going to do me. And if some of you feel that it resembles what she's doing, so what? I don't even know her. I don't know her style. I don't know anything about her. I don't know what it was that made her feel that I was copycatting, but I'm not a copycat. I'm an original. And I looked at another video of hers today just because I wanted to see what the similarities were. And the only thing that I can think of is us using the elements. That's it. Nubian Divine has her own style, she has her own rhythm, and it cannot be copied. She is really a true empress, a true goddess, and I respect her. There's nothing that and there's no shade towards her when I say this, there's nothing that I feel that she has that I want. And I'm sure that she would feel the same way about me too. I mean, come on, I'm just a newbie at all of this. I've only had my YouTube channel up for like, since January. And I'm almost at 400 subscribers, which I think is pretty good because I just started this and we're just at the first week of March. And I'm not in competition with anyone but myself. I have over 17 degrees and certificates, and I am a doctor. I've been a doctor for 6 years. I mean, that's like comparing apples with oranges. Now, I do have my own metaphysical school, and I've owned and operated this for 2 years now, actually three. And I just have been running and operating it on my own now for 2 years. It's like there's no comparison here. If there's similarities, that's because we probably came from the same star group. We probably even have a soul contract or whatever that, we're going to end up meeting one day. And I would love to meet her in person. I don't know what it is. I don't know what God has in store, but whatever the case is, so be it. Um, I wish her well in her journey and her being the light worker that she is. And I hope she can also do the same for me. I'm going to go ahead and get into this because I have taken up way too much time, more than what I anticipated. I want to talk to you about divine masculine and the divine feminine and what they are. First of all, they are aspects, they're energy. The divine masculine and the divine feminine collectively is energy, just like the ethers, just like the angels, and actually just like us. We're energy. We are spirits housed in um, a skin suit, okay? We're super condensed energy housed in the skin suit that we call our temple or our body or our avatar. And we are not the body. We're neither male or female. We're androgynous beings. We don't really have a sex. But when we're put into form, we take on the shape and form of a male or female. But a male and a female is not a divine masculine or a divine feminine. And there are divine feminines that are divine masculines, and there are divine masculines that are divine feminines. And for some of you that have been following me, you already know that. But here, I will address the subject that is less spoken about, the divine masculine. And I will also touch certain details about the divine feminine as well. The divine masculine right now is in a great healing process, okay? And when I connected to the collective masculine energy, I felt a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, a lot of resentment, a lot of heaviness, and a lot of guilt. I will discuss what the divine masculine is and its luminous aspects, and also the shadow side that the masculine has carried for millennia. Okay? The divine masculine has been carrying around for almost 8 to 10,000 years since humanity has been on this earth. This patriarchal template. This means that he's been carrying around that power, that men have taken power over women. And through this domination, the divine masculine has revealed its deepest shadow side. And it was not always the case. And this is the reason why we have had wars and we've had so much catastrophe upon the earth. And before the patriarchal system was implemented, there was a matriarchal system on the earth. And let's not forget that everything is cyclical, which means history tends to repeat itself and what goes around comes around. And with this matriarchy, it was primarily based on worshiping of the goddess. The goddess creator is Tiamat. My students know this. I've spoken to them about this several times. Tiamat is the creator of the so called universe as we know it. A goddess is what created the universe. And from this goddess energy originated all other entities and beings, from which all life originates. And the respect of these aspects, we have what is called natural laws or universal laws. Okay. And at the time, women had a superior influence over men, where the decision making and authority was given to the women. Now, even though it was harmonious in the first place, the matriarchy was revealed its, let's say, its shadow side, so to speak. Men ended up being considered like stallions and genitors, made to procreate and give the best descendants that are possible to the human race. And men were at that point taking that task on. That's where you have polyamory and, polygamy and all of that. Okay, they remained dominant. They were the dominator. Okay, they dominated women. And so, with this being the case, there was a need for the return of the divine feminine and the gradual death of the dominant masculine that we are witnessing right now happening in this moment in all directions in time and space. raising many questions for today's men. Some of them have went into like a deep depression, and a lot of them had called this movement like the feminism movement, or women that stood up for themselves. They would call them feminines, and it would be used in like a negative connotation. And this is because men then, and some still now, actually did not know. They didn't really know how they were to move and have their being and their existence anymore. Their masculinity, let's say, came into question. And it was like as if we stood on the sidelines and watched them helplessly lose their identity. Not that we carried this on, consciously. This was unconsciously, because we didn't even know what the hell was happening to us at the same time. We were being changed. We didn't know that it was a generational burden of the male domination. And so that left us feeling guilty. And at that time, we weren't actualized, we weren't realized, we weren't standing in our true autonomy and our true authentic power. So we were also having the awakening and the shaking that was happening to them as well. You see. But what happened is that women, we started coming together and forming circles and supporting each other. And sometimes the men, they felt excluded because we didn't include them. But we had the time to do it because we were at home. And outside of work, we did it outside of work. And they did not know really what role to play with their wives and their children anymore. And this loss of masculine identity is at whole and large what we're still seeing. And if not any role models that are in the divine masculine's life, it was like a shattering experience for them. The fathers and grandfathers, they carried on the conditioning of the wounds of this patriarchal society that has now been put to death and put to rest by Source and by Gaia, by the mother and the father. Okay. And men of power, are now questioning their role and their positioning. Okay. And so now what only remains are examples of spiritual masters and great kings and sages who have come throughout the centuries to anchor this energy of the divine masculine on our planet. We have Cyrus, we have Yahshua, which people know as Jesus, King Solomon, Buddha, Melchizedek. The divine masculine is verticality, okay? And he is the link between heaven and earth. The masculine is connected to the sun, to the fire, and the air elements. Okay? And the sun is also known as solar. Some people say solar, tomato, tomato. Depends on who womb you got pushed out of, basically. But anyhow, anyway, the masculines are on a movement of action at this moment. Okay. And at the same time, the masculine is a pillar deeply rooted into the earth. The feminine is fluctuating and unstable, while the masculine is stability. He is the pillar that the feminine needs. The feminine, in comparison, is like a little butterfly flying around, and the masculine is the branch to land on. Does that make sense? The feminine is creation and the unmanifested, while the masculine takes all of that and forms it and manifests it and shapes it into the material world, you see. The divine masculines are the builders and the entrepreneurs. What he does is he mentalizes, he decompartmentalizes, he gives form to ideals and structures them. He is like an architect, okay? The divine masculine is related to knowledge, wisdom, protection, security, physical strength, responsibility, and he makes decisions. He is the leader. Okay, that's why the Emperor card is very well acclimated with the divine masculine and his attributes. The divine masculine is a warrior, but a peaceful warrior. He's an earth warrior who has made peace with his pain of the past, and he desires for power and goes on a quest for love instead. See, that's a true divine masculine. The divine masculine is chivalry. It is the troubadours of the court of love. I I can go on and on and on and on. When it comes to today's men, but I do see things that are really shifting in men overall. And right now, we have a reason. We have every reason to celebrate them. Currently, there are two type of men in our societies. Those that are too masculine and they're, working their shadow side, and they choose to cut off their emotions and their intuitive part, their feminine part, their spirituality, and they rather function with their mind and logic, okay? And then there are those that are too feminine. They function out of their their feminine side, and they are not in their masculine side. And so they're very sensitive and they're very difficult, and they take on these narcissistic behaviors, and often they have difficulty when they were growing up, maturing and finding, referencing points, and they're argumentative, and they have a hard time taking responsibility and accountability, and they remain little boys that are stuck. They have become what I would say wounded children looking for mothers. Okay? But now that we have talked about the divine masculine, let's touch on the divine feminines. There are certain aspects of the divine feminine that has been oppressed. You see, the divine feminine, she is the carrier, the thoroughbred, the container. She has been overlooked. So this has caused deep trauma and injury to her womb. And so she has been inferior for a very long time to the divine masculine because they realized their physical strength was superior to women. So they took the power by force. And since then, men had dominated the world. And we have seen the dark side of the masculine, which is the ego, violence, war, the pursuit of power and material wealth. And so then this made the divine feminine, which for the sake of just being general, we're going to say women, inferior beings, domestic slaves, breeders, and sexual preys. They just look at women as sexual objects, and this is the reason why you have promiscuity that is really rampant more in the divine masculine realm than the divine feminine realm. I'm not saying that, divine feminines are not promiscuous. There are some that are, but I'm just saying that it's something that is predominantly in a male side than a female side. And so today we are witnessing yet again a turnaround. The earth is experiencing a spiritual awakening, and we're all a part of that. But it's mainly guided by women. They are bringing forth feminine values such as heart centeredness, gentleness, compassion, and love. And this is why we are talking about the return of the divine feminine, the return of the goddess. We are not going to switch to another matriarchal without the divine feminine backing it and freeing herself and healing herself, and here to help the masculine heal as well, so that we all can finally be balanced, and be balanced between not only the spiritual and the physical, but between both of these polarities. And this balance is to be found in each other and in each and every one of us, between our feminine and our masculine aspects within, between our left brain and our right brain, because the ascension of the awakening of the planet happens through us, it doesn't happen outside of us. The return of the divine feminine is at a gradual um, peak, okay? And there is a gradual death of the dominant masculine that we are witnessing, okay? Men are raising questions. There are men that are actually taking action, okay? They're doing their spiritual work. They're doing what is needed in order for them to take part of this grand awakening. Men are asking themselves, what is it to be a man in the end of the grand scheme of things? Does being a man mean having muscles? Does it mean dominating? Does it mean controlling? These are viable questions. And all of this brings us back to the ultimate question. What is the divine masculine? He is our Father. He is our protection. He is our husband. He is our rock. He is our problem solver. He is our anchor. We thank you, masculines. And divine feminines, we thank you too for being true to this path, staying committed no matter what comes your way. Divine masculines, we thank you for healing your childhood wounds now and to begin your spiritual paths. And one of the many problems for men in our society is that they have been conditioned not to show their emotions. Because in our society, emotions is vulnerability and it means weakness. In our society, it's not tolerated, okay? And it's because we have that sink or swim mentality. We have that grit and bear it. You're not allowed to express those sides. That's, you're being a wimp or you're being a punk. But that is the furthest thing from the truth. Our men are now going to help workshops. They're getting, self-help books that help them to honor the heart and to heal their wounds and to embrace and honor the feminine that is within. So within, so without. He has to honor the divine feminine that is within before he can honor his divine feminine that is on the outside. Men are no longer walking around in confusion of who they are and who they need to be. And when they have embraced this side of them, they have become better fathers. They have become better men. We've always wanted for our men to be able to embrace their femininity and their sensitive side and to be in touch with their feminine side. Once again, these men are fighting through this, trying to heal their inner feminine and their inner masculine so they can find harmony and balance within the two. There is not only one model of man or one model of woman that can explore all these aspects and be coined the divine feminine and the divine masculine. But these are aspects of ourselves that are suppressed and which needs to be healed and integrated back into our person and our being and who we are. Men are now gathering together and forming circles, brotherhoods, and rites of passages to help them to embrace these sides. The divine masculine is now holding space for the divine feminines to open up and to blossom so that we as feminines can become what we truly are about, what we truly stand for, and who we truly are. And so In the same token, the divine feminines invite the divine masculines to lay down their arms in their pains, break down the barriers as we help them and we guide them to reconnect with the heart, that the two hearts can unite again as one in eternal love. And I can say with great power that the feminine is waiting for you, dear divine masculine, to heal this wounded masculine. We are happy to see you stand up again into your greatness, into your nobleness. We need you. The divine feminine is waiting for you to radiate the sacred fire of your solar plexus, to reunite yourself to the sacred heart of the feminine and to connect heart to heart and crown to crown. The feminine is waiting on you to start moving and assisting and supporting her. Support her and help her to give birth to this new heart-centered humanity so that our children can live harmoniously and dance freely with their spontaneity and their gifts and their fruits of the lineage that they can pass down 7 generations. Let's break the cycle, and it starts with us. I have come to the end of my transmission. It is a good karma to like, share, comment, subscribe, leave a love donation if you feel inclined to. You can also purchase a gift from my gift registry from Amazon and it will show up on the channel. I now wrap you in my love and I cloak you with the light of Christ consciousness. And so it is, everyone. Namaste.